That's right, Mary and Michelle. Men's hoops are back in action, but we start off with some bad news for Lisa Bluter's squad.
Unfortunately, that's right, Whitney. The 11th ranked Iowa women's basketball team fell on the road Tuesday night in Minnesota. The Hawks kept pace with the Gophers, but couldn't close it out down the stretch.
An unranked Minnesota team was able to take down Iowa 93-80 by shooting nearly 51% to Iowa's 38. Samantha Logic, however, having a great game, putting in 26 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds.
The Hawks will return for their final road game of the regular season Saturday night at Ohio State. Iowa last beat the Buckeyes on their home court February 5th, 73-65. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m.
Returning to the home court, men's hoops will tip off against Rutgers Thursday night for the first time since the Scarlet Knights joined the Big Ten. This will also be the first time Rutgers will have played inside Carver. I took a look at this tough season for the Rutgers going into this matchup. On Thursday, the Hawkeyes are going up against a team who isn't having the easiest time for their first season in the Big Ten Conference. Rutgers currently sit in the bottom of conference standings with a 9-game losing streak after their loss to Purdue last Thursday. The Scarlet Knights are struggling offensively, averaging 10 points less than Iowa and only shooting at 39%. Rutgers' Mile Mack and Kadeen Jack will have to be on point Thursday if they want a chance to win their first road game of the season. Mack and Jack lead the Scarlet Knights in shooting, averaging 14 and 13.3 points respectively.
Mack is an interesting player because he's really creative. He's a hard cover one-on-one. They're going to set ball screens for him, so he'll have some space. He can really score, and he's got three-point range, but he can drive it and dump it and create for others.
This will be the first time Rutgers step in a Carver Hawkeye Arena, and only the second time the two teams have ever faced. The first being back in 1989 with a Hawkeye victory.
We understand we're going to a tougher league, and the second part of the process is to get better players, which we think we did, to be competitive, and to meet the opponent eye to eye.
While the odds seem to be in Iowa's favor, the Hawkeyes are coming off 2 consecutive losses, with the last being that devastating overtime defeat to Northwestern, who just before was in a 10-game losing run. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
McCaffrey and company have lost 5 of their last 7 matches. In order for the Hawks to find some success Thursday night, we'll first have to understand what exactly is going wrong.
We'll toss it over to Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Taylor Brooks over at Carver, who can explain why the Hawks are struggling as of late. Taylor?
Thanks, ladies. Something seems to be off on the Iowa men's basketball team, but what exactly is it? The off-balance three-pointer Jared Utoff pulled off against Northwestern on February 15th to send the game into overtime might be the exact definition of what's going on with the Hawks. A lack of offensive production is obvious, but it isn't about not taking enough shots. It's about attacking the rim. Only 12 of the 61 points Iowa scored against Northwestern were in the paint. Jump shots are what the team is settling for. The aggressive factor is also playing into rebounding. A push for having a solid offense and defensive rebounding game is becoming crucial. The defense as a whole has seen better times as well. There seems to be no overall pressure on the ball. A complete game in all aspects is what the team needs right now. Coach McCaffrey simply puts it as they have to play better. Hopefully coming back to Carver Hawkeye Arena tomorrow night against Big Ten newcomers Rutgers will do just that. Whitney, Jalen, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Taylor. The back-to-back losses leave both players and fans frustrated, but that feeling sits heavy on the shoulders of senior forward Aaron White. How the team moves forward depends on how White can adjust.
You can definitely see the emotion from White on the court, and it was that frustration that led to White playing very uncharacteristically of himself, explaining his poor shooting against the Wildcats on Sunday.
We caught up with White earlier today on how he plans to move forward with just 6 games left in the regular season.
I missed a couple that I usually make, and I think that kind of got me frustrated. And then a couple of my shots were just ill-advised. So, yeah, I learned from it, I usually don't really have nights like that. Usually I pick my spots pretty smartly, and that game I didn't, and I can learn from it, and so it doesn't happen again.
McCaffrey acknowledges White's frustration, but it says the senior is not limited in his scoring abilities.
But he's got other options to go to. I think what you'll see is him going stronger. He's just not going to go up and get a foul call. He's got to go and go through the guy, go around the guy, go over the guy, and just be that much more aggressive. I think if he does that, he'll be better off.
That'll wrap it up for this courtside. We'll have the full recap of Iowa versus Rutgers in Sunday's program. Be sure to check us out tomorrow for Matt Side as the Iowa wrestling team prepares to host the national duels.